Second video of making authentication system using Django REST framework and Django web framework, and using custom user field model that is based on phone number and password instead of username. We will create REST APIs here so that you can connect them by your mobile application and get the data. All right, so to connect them with the mobile application, we are using JSON data. Okay, here, so let's start. But first of all, I want to show you how to get the SMS on your mobile number. If you have to send some OTP there for verification to the to your customer and user, whatever. Okay, so for that you have to jump to two-factor.in, and in two-factor.in you will find transactional SMS there, and when you create your new account on two-factor.in, you get 50 free transactional SMS, so that you can just get your hand dirty with it. Okay, so in the managed senders ID, you have to create a new ID, then they will give you the approval that yeah, you can send SMS by this sender ID. And as you can see here, I have these sender IDs. So we will be needing this template name and sender ID, and here in account overview you will get your API key. So I'm not showing that, but for to create a new template, you can just request. Here you will get the name and sender ID, whatever you want to create, but it should be of 6 character alphabets. Then the template, like if you want to send an OTP on your phone, so you can say like hi, whatever the variable one is, we will be showing how to give it, and then this thing. So where one and where two are the fields that we will be giving in the link. So here is the link, as you can see here. Here is the link. So http two-factor.in API and all. Then here your API ID will come. Okay, in then to phone, this will be a variable that we will be passing here so that they can send it to phone. Then there are two variables, name and OTP key, like hi Abhishek, your password is 42598. So we will be generating this OTP key randomly by 6 or 4 or whatever the number of digits you want, and then we will, as you hit this by using requests.get, and then what it will do, it will run this link. Okay, and in the result you will get the 200 status if the link is totally fine and your API key and manage ID and sender is correct. API key is some variable letters like this, a code is given by the two-factor.in like this, and the sender ID, whatever you want to give, like Ishwar or whatever, in 6 letters. Then your template name, whatever you want to give, like OTP verification. So you have to put them here, and from here you get the approval within 30 or 1 hour, 30 minutes. Okay, so purpose of sender ID, company name, you can provide them. Okay, so this is enough for the two-factor.in. Now let's move to real code. Okay, so you can note this somewhere. Okay, here is the total actual code. So you have to make them in one line. This is important. Okay, it should be in one line, otherwise it may give some indentation error. Okay, so as you align it one line, everything, and then you hit the link by request.getlink, and I will be showing you where we will be using it instead of actual use. But if you paste that here in your code, you will actually get the SMS. Okay, so this is the link, and now remove it. So let's create our first view, and the first view is yeah, this is the first view. In our authentication system, what we are doing is we will take the phone number first from the user, and then we will check whether the phone number exists or not. We are actually creating the account registration. So if the phone number already exists, then we will say that yeah, phone number exists, you have to give some another number or try forget password. Okay, and if the phone number is not existing, then we will send OTP. Okay, so these two things will be done by these views that we will be covering here. So first of all, let's start. So first thing first, we will make a view which is named send password OTP validate. Okay, so let's start. So we are working on API view, so class, let's say validate phone, validate the phone, and if the phone is validated, we will send OTP. So this is the name, you can give anything you want. Then API view. Okay, what is API view? We are getting it from REST framework, and we are importing it from REST framework.generics. Okay, I think this is the name. So let's, yeah, it is the same. Okay, so from REST framework dot Vuge instead of generics, and let's import it from Vuge and import this API view. Okay, so we have to return response also, so let's import that also. So from REST framework dot response import response. Okay, what this response do is this response take the dictionary and it passes in the output, so it will be used in returning the output from this view. Okay, so we will be needing it in the very last of the view building. Then we need models also. From dot models import user model. Okay, what the user model is, we created in the first part of this lecture, which is this. Okay, so we are importing it from dot models to our this views.py. That's why I'm doing just dot models. Okay, then in the very last thing what we needing is we will also needing a shortcut. So from Django dot shortcuts import get object or 404. Yeah, this is important. Now let's create this class. So in this class we are creating this is actually post function, because we are we have to give a post request with a phone number. Okay, so in this post function we have to take the phone number as a field. So let's start by doing it. So phone number equals request, not here actually, we will define get function. Okay, def post function, and it will take self request args and keyword args. Okay, and here we have phone number equals request, because we are taking it from the request that we are giving. Okay, so request.data.get. Why I'm doing it I will tell you soon. Just do it first. So if there is phone number, okay, so if there is phone number then it's okay, otherwise there is a problem. So I will say else return response. Okay, return response, and in the response what I'm returning is a variable named status, and in the status I am saying it false. Okay, and detail of the status is that phone number is not passed, is not given in post request. Okay, so what we are doing is we are taking the phone number from the dictionary, the data dictionary, and if the phone number is there then we will do, otherwise if the phone number is not there we can't do anything. So we are returning the status false and saying that phone number is not there in the API that you sent. Okay, so then what we will do is phone equals phone number. So let's convert this phone number in string so that we can match it. Okay, finally we have created in the string. Now phone number is in a string instead of user models phone as a data type. Okay, so now we will check whether this phone number exists already in our database or not. If the phone number is already existing in the database, then we can't do anything in next step. Okay, so user equal to, we are checking the in user model, so user dot objects dot filter, and what I'm doing here, I'm doing a phone because we have phone there, and I eject, this is a filter that maps exactly. So phone I eject equals to phone, so these are double underscore I eject, this is the filter, and this phone is the field in our models. Okay, because we are based on phone as the field, that's why. Okay, now if the phone is matching with the given phone, so if I'm saying that if user dot exist, then there's a problem, and I will return response. Okay, in the response I will do again the same thing, status is false, and detail is that phone number already exists. Okay, so this will be string, so phone number already exists. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to send an OTP, because the phone number is given us, then it is not taken already. So now in the next step we have to send the OTP. Okay, so let's create a helper function to send the OTP. So def send OTP. Okay, so what it will do is it will create a, it will take a phone number, and then if phone is passed, so if phone, then I will say create a random int. So random dot randint, and between, let's say between 999 to 49, so it should be 4 digits. That's why I'm doing it, and I will pass it, so return this thing. Okay, otherwise, else if the phone number is not there, I will return false. So there you go. Okay, now if everything is fine, I also want to print this thing. So instead of this, I will say key equals this thing, and return the key. Here you go. And now if everything is fine, now because we are calling this random, so we have to import it also. So import random, and if everything is fine, what I will do is, if user exists, then this, else if the user is not existing, so what I will do is I will send OTP there in with the phone number equals to phone, because we have phone here, and it will return the key if everything is fine. So if key is returned, so I will say if key is returned finally, then I will say that it's okay. Otherwise, else what I will do is return response again, that there is something problem with sending the OTP. Okay, so the status is again false, and I will say detail is sending OTP error. Okay, now in the last part of this, the key is there, so we have to store this key so that we can validate it in the next view. So let's check this thing first, then we will be storing it. For this we have to jump for the time being, I'm saying pass, we have to jump to terminal if there's nothing issue with the terminal. And yeah, it is saying that though no module named account.url. Why it is saying it? Because in the urls file I have this mapping here, and I have imported this includes accounts.url because I want to make some urls also. So in this accounts.urls, let's again let me copy this thing whole, and we will create a new file in accounts, new file which is urls.py. Here you go. And I don't need this, some modification in Django admin, and I don't need admin also here. I don't need even this thing, but I need this part only, and no static, no setting, no admin, and yeah, I will need this. Yeah, so everything is fine till now. And what I have to do here is import the view that we have created just now. So from .views import in the views, yeah, here the views are, and from this views we have to import validate phone send OTP. So in admin.py, in url.py, sorry, we have this thing, and we will call it by API instead of API. I will call like validate phone. Okay, so if I jump to the URL by API slash validate phone, then it should give me this view. Okay, so let's jump to Postman. You will be needing this Postman to run this thing, and let's jump to API slash validate phone, and phone, just use slash also because otherwise it will give append slash warning. And there is some issue with the server, and which is saying that accounts were not filed even, so maybe we have to start the server again, because new file detecting is some problem with Django if the server is already running. So it is saying that app name should be passed. Yeah, this is important error. So for this, in the URL you just have to say app name equals accounts. Okay, and here you go. So everything is fine now. Now you can run the Postman, and I just sent, because I need only phone to be passed, so I just send it. So it is saying that forbidden CSRF verification failed. Yeah, because we are making a post or request and we are actually not passing any CSRF token. So to get rid of this thing, what we will do is, because in REST and when we are connecting with mobile application, we don't need a CSRF token. So let's jump to settings.py. You can do this thing. Let's jump to settings.py, and in the middleware you just have to remove the CSRF middleware token. Okay, so now let's again check the server if it is running. Yeah, so fine. And so now it is saying that init should be given one positional argument, but we are passing two, so there is some problem with the view. Okay, so yeah, because we are having class-based views. This is common problem to occur. So in the URLs, I have to do edge view. Okay, this is important. Now if I say again the send the request, so it is saying that expected a response, but it is returning the none type. Why actually? Because this thing is running with the key to be passed. Okay, so as you can see here, everything is fine. My phone number is not taken already, and everything other than this is totally fine. That's why it is coming to go till here, and it is not returning anything. That's why it is giving the problem. Okay, so let's take some number, usual number that is already existing, and otherwise there, if some are sending OTP here, so we can see these responses in our Postman. So our phone number that has been created by me earlier was, I think this was the phone number. Yeah, so it is saying that phone number already exists, so it is working fine. And if I don't pass anything in the body of the post request, so it will say that phone number is not given, so everything is fine till here. Now the time is we have to store this OTP, and so that we can check it later with this phone number. So that's why we have to create a new model in which we can store the OTP. Okay, so for that I am making a new model in models.py. Here you go, and in this model, here is the phone OTP model. I have to use these things. So for the time being, just remove these things. Okay, now this phone number is storing the phone number, OTP is storing the OTP corresponding to this phone number, and count each that number of OTP sent. If you want to limit, like I don't want to send more than 10 OTPs for a particular phone number, so that you can block that phone number to receive the OTP. Okay, so here you go. So for this you have to make the migrations. Do it quickly. And now we have the phone OTP model created. As you can see here in the response of the command, then migrate, and again then run the server. So now what we are doing is we are storing this phone number and OTP in this model. Okay, so let's jump to views, and here what we have to do is we have to store our OTP here. So first of all, import this from this, so phone OTP, and you have to also go to admin to register this. So I can say that from dot models import okay, so it is phone OTP. Okay, then admin dot site dot register, so that you can see it in admin panel also. So phone OTP, here you go. Now you are totally fine to work on this model, and let's jump to views.py once again. And in the views.py we have to store this key that we sent in the phone number. So let's say phone OTP dot objects dot create. Okay, and in this thing, this will be a small c, and here you go. Here we have to pass the phone, not like this, but phone equals the phone, and OTP equals to OTP, and sorry, key, and count, we will give it later. So for the time being, we have phone OTP, that object get phone equal to phone, that this phone number, and OTP is key that we are getting from the send OTP function. Okay, so we will create a new instance of this phone OTP model so that we can later on check this particular key for this phone number, that whether the what user is passing in our next API is it correct or not. Okay, so let's again hit the API with this particular phone number, and yeah, you will get that phone number already exists. So instead of 11 I will say 22, and yeah, so it is saying that it should return a response. So let's figure out some response for the API that we have to do. So here, if everything is fine, so I will say return response, and this response will contain a dictionary of status equals to true and detail equals to OTP sent successfully. Okay, here you go. So if I can hit this, and there is account OTP.phone, that it is saying that unique, it should be unique, but it is not unique. So why this is actually doing it? Because we already have this phone OTP in the last time when we did not return the response. As you can see here in the admin panel, if I go to admin, and here I have phone OTP, and in the phone OTP I have already this particular thing. If I delete it, then jump to Postman and again send the thing. Hey, you are it is returning OTP sent successfully. And if you go here again, refresh it, yeah, you have created a new field with 3834, and it is the OTP that you can see here. Also the send OTP is I think we are not printing it anywhere. So in this, yeah, we are not printing it, so I can say print, so that we can see it next time in our command prompt. So print key. All right, now because if this thing phone OTP is already existing, it will give the unique error, because we want to save only one instance for a particular user, okay, for a particular phone. So I will say that first check whether this thing exists or not. So let's say old equals to phone OTP dot objects dot filter. So then it will, what it will do is it will check for this phone number. I eject if this phone number is exactly there in our model old in our phone OTP. So if I'm saying if old dot exist, so what we'll do is old equal to old dot first. So for the first, we have to note down what the number of counts of the OTP has been sent. So it will be all.count, and if this is the thing, then what we'll do is we will increase the count. So first we will check if the count is whatever the number you want, like say if it is greater than 10. Okay, you don't want to send more than 10, so you will return the response saying that status is false and OTP sending error because the limit has been reached. Okay, so if the count is less greater than 10, then you will say that no, you don't want to send more than OTP sending error, limits exceeded, limit exceeded, please contact customer support. Okay, because any bot or anything else will be doing, sending OTP and again that can, might finish up your OTP pack of two-factor or any other service. So if the count is greater than 10, then only this thing occur. But if the count is less than 10, for that what we will do is increase the count and save it in all.first. So all.count equals to whatever the count was, count plus 1. We will increase it and then save the whole model. So all.save. all right, now if the count, if the old is existing, it's not the first time, then it will check, otherwise we have to create. So if all.exist, then this thing will work, else what will work is this particular block of the code. So else we will create the new thing and everything will come in it. So if if this thing is working, that already existing and the count is increased by 1, so we have to also return the same thing here. Okay, so I can say print, and I can say count increased, it should be in a string. Okay, so count increased, and it is 0 count. Okay, so now if I again jump to Postman, and this is the very same number, and if the same number is trying to send a new OTP with a new OTP again and again, so it will say that OTP sent successfully. And here in the terminal you can see that the count increase is 0. It is 0 for the first time, then it is saying 1, and if I send again and again, so one time being, as you can see here, it is 5 now. Now it is 9, and here this is, you hear it is 10, and now you can see here limit accessed, please contact customer support. So till here what we have done is we have sent the OTP, we have recorded this OTP for the phone number and count, also number of counts, and we are stopping it if the user already existing of number of threshold for the count OTPs to be sent reached. In the next video what we will doing is we will validating this OTP. Okay, so for that request what we will do is validate OTP, and we will take phone number and OTP, and we will match these two things with this data. Okay, if the OTP matches, then we will transfer it to set the password. Okay, and otherwise we will again say that the OTP is incorrect. We will doing it in next part. Till then,